welcome to today's series where we're going to work through different parts of our body really gently, because you don't always have to have big and bold movements to feel like your body is doing the best it can. So we're going to start on all fours position and just finding your setup with your hands under your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. And from this position, all you're going to do is tuck the tail under, tuck the head under, and create a nice curve through the back part of your body. And then you're going to go in the opposite way, so sticking your tail back behind you and aiming your chest bone forward. And then repeating that, tucking tail under, head under, just getting a nice gentle stretch in between the shoulder blades and feeling like you can create good length from the back of the ribs down towards the tail, and then stretching in the opposite ways. So with these movements, they're subtle. Don't try and go to the very end range of your movement. Just feel the exploring of your body. What I like to find is that my arms and my legs are going to stay where they are in space, and I just have this wave of my spine moving between the roundedness and the archedness. And then from there, we're going to find your balance position, so whatever that feels like for you. We're going to make a circle going around the wrists, and just feeling how you're putting pressure onto the outside of one wrist, the inside of the other wrist, and just making a nice gentle motion around, and then pausing and going in the other direction. So again, just feeling how as your weight shifts position from being in that more vertical position of your shoulders underneath or shoulders above your wrists, how as soon as you lean off to the side or put more weight on one angle, it feels different in your whole body. Obviously, as we come back into the center, you're going to notice that the rest of the body was moving with you. From here, we're going to do a slide out towards the left. So 2 hands are still staying on the ground, 2 arms are still staying straight. And we're just moving the shoulders across to one edge of your mat and then over to the other. So this is just exaggerated or more specific than what you did in your circle, but it's still working through those pressure points that we just played with. And then one more time to each direction. And you will notice that one side may feel a lot more comfortable to go to than the other. We're going to tuck your toes under. Now, not everyone is a lover of this move, and we're just going to sit down towards your feet. Now, you may be prevented from your knees getting into that position, so if that's the case, you can block something up like a towel, a cushion, or a pillow or something behind your knees so that as you go back, you're not going as deep. But we want to get that stretch through the toes, and then rocking yourself forward again. Now we're going to keep increasing, so you go where it feels the most comfortable for you. So as we go back this time, can you let your hands leave the floor, and can you be in a sitting position on top of those feet? And then we bring the hands forward again, and we'll roll towards the front of the wrists. And then again, we go back towards the feet, sitting up on top of the toes, and then going back down onto the hands. We'll do that one more time as we rock ourselves back to the feet and then sitting up. Now, hopefully you can stay here with me. If you need to, just unfold your feet and go to flat position. If this is an uncomfortable place for you, then you just got to chop yourself up where you need to. So keeping the knees facing forward, lace your fingers. You're going to turn your palms to face out and away from you. We're going to stretch the arms out. And we're going to raise them above our head, almost like you're trying to put your palms flat onto the ceiling above you, and then bringing the arms out in front again and collapse the arms back in. So we'll stretch the arms out, keep the lacing of the fingers as we reach above the top of the head. So I'm looking that I'm not sending my head through my arms, but in fact my arms are slightly forward of my ears. Reach the arms away and then return them back. We're going to do that one last time, pressing out. And then lifting up, hold for a moment, really feel the length through the sides of the waist, and then send the arms out and then bringing them back in. Now take yourself a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you. It could be on your knees, could be cross-legged. We're going to keep working in that movement with our arms. So again, lace the fingers, and what we're going to do is a little pumping action. So you're going to push out, and then you're going to go up and up and up, and then start to come down and down and down. We're going to do that on a diagonal, so going off to one side. So about 3 to 4 pumps to get you up, and then 3 to 4 pumps to get you back to more shoulder position, and then switching sides. So as you switch sides, you'll notice your trunk will want to look in that direction. Let that happen. And then we'll go back to the center again, up through the midline, up towards the ceiling, and then bringing it back down to shoulder height. And again, onto your first diagonal line, really stretching out through the arms. And you know, the arms are really important this time of year, depending on when you look at this video or when it's been made, is the start of our autumn season. So in Chinese medicine, that's relating to the lung and the large intestine meridian, and they are pumping through in these arm exercises, and then bringing yourself all the way back. So we're just going to start with hands onto the tops of the legs or wherever are comfortable for you, and you're going to go into a shoulder roll. So just making a circle, going in whichever direction feels most comfortable, and then we'll go in the opposite. So I'm just doing 3 rolls through the shoulders. And when you've done your third one, we're going to place your hands onto the tops of your shoulders. From here, we're going to draw elbow circles around and out. Now, I don't need you to aim your elbow right up to the ceiling. I just want you to feel what your arms are doing, what your shoulders are doing, what your collarbones are doing. So those 3 things, arm, collarbone, and shoulder blade, are making up the shoulder girdle. Once you've done your 3, go the reverse. And you may again find one way is ridiculously easier than the other. And then we're going to play a little game of, can you do the opposites? So can we start with the elbows facing forward, go 1 up, 1 down, all the way around, and meet them back at the center. And again, that same direction. So whichever elbow is moving, I don't want to tell you which one to do because your brain is going to have to figure it out. And then we're going to go the other way. So other elbow leads up, around, and then facing towards the front. And then 2 more. I find it interesting how many people really find this a challenging movement to make. And then bringing it all the way back, elbows facing in, and then resting down. So again, make sure that you're super comfortable. I need to change position. And as I do that, I'm going to go for a little neck stretch. So taking my hand over towards my opposite ear. And as I do that, I'm going to just side bend my ear towards the shoulder. So I'm exposing the area from the back of my skull bone down towards the edge of my shoulder. And I'm not trying to force anything. I'm just trying to breathe as though I had gills like a fish on the side of my neck that I was going to open and take a breath in and exhale through that area. And we'll do that 1 more breath in, and then breathing it out. And then I'm going to release the hold. Keep your hand where it is. We're going to add on to that stretch. So we'll go to the side first, and then from there, you're just going to turn your head down to look towards the floor and give yourself a gentle drawing of the chin in, the top of the head forward and down. And again, those little slits of your gills in to hold your breath in. And then release the breath out. And again, just letting that breath come in and really opening space at the side of your neck. And then 1 more full breath in and out. And then return your ear to your shoulder position and then bringing yourself back up. So before we do the other side, always good to just find a little comparison. How do the 2 sides feel? You might notice in flexibility, your neck is easier to go the direction you went to, but you also might notice that this whole side of your body may be slightly dropped. Now, that's not always the case, but you've got to find what worked for you. Let's take the opposite hand now over towards your ear, and we're going to go into that gentle side bend. So I always like to remind people that, 2 sides are not always the same. You don't have to be symmetrical, but you want to be gentle with your body. So we're just exploring what's available for you, remembering to take that breath into the area that creates a bit of tightness, because we all have muscles here and they all get tight, especially in the stressful lives that we live, and then bringing yourself up. So we're going to add into that rotation twist. So we first go into the side bend. Then you're going to turn and look down. Give yourself a gentle drawing of the chin in towards the throat, just to open up even more in that area. So we've got some breathing muscles here, believe it or not. They're called our scalenes, and we have our sternocleidomastoid. So quite a busy space behind here, and often creates a lot of tension in our bodies. And then coming back out of that position, side bend, and returning all the way up again. And again, just have that moment of clarity of feeling, oh wow, that such a small movement made such an impact. All right, so from here, we're going to have to move the dog off of the lap as we take ourselves into a side lying position. Beep, off you go. So as you come down, just nice and simple, we're going to fold the knees in. We're going to take both hands behind the back of the head. So we've got that lacing. We're going to send the arm up and we're just going to roll that chest bone open towards the ceiling. And you may want to turn back and look at your elbow and then bringing yourself forward again. So we're just going to keep with that theme of 3 moves here as we go over. Little breath at the end and then coming forward. And then we'll do that one more time as we send ourselves over and get a good stretch in the upper body. Almost feeling like your knees were going in the front position and your elbow was going in the back position. And then coming forward from there. From here, we'll just place one hand underneath you and then the other one just onto the ground. You're going to keep your knee bent and you're going to send your knee up and around to make a nice leg circle. So we can often sort of favor the front of the body. So really feel like you're trying to create the edges of your circle a little bit more towards the back. Pause and then go in the reverse. So yeah, we're just doing 3 because this is just a really feel-good, delicious kind of series today. You're not going to get your heart rate up. You are going to feel fantastic afterward, though, I can guarantee that. And then you're going to press your leg all the way out to stretch towards the wall, away from you. Pull your toes back so it's like you're really standing on that wall, and then pull your knee back in. And again, push the leg all the way out. Stand on the wall, and then pull it in. And we'll do that one last time as you go out. And then as you come back in, we'll lower the leg down and we're going to flip over to the other side. So you can roll over, you can flip over, however works best for you. And again, we lie on our side and we take our elbows to the front and our hands laced behind. So just remember, you want to line yourself up with the back edge of the mat. So you're in the straightest line possible. You're not on a diagonal line forward. And then rolling that chest bone up, looking with your I know it's going to sound weird, looking with your eyes, of course, towards your back elbow, and then coming forward again. But really use your eye muscles to track your arm, to track your elbow, and maybe even looking beyond that. Find a spot in the distance that you feel like might be a little bit of a strain. It's good to work our eye muscles. We become very lazy when we are, behind screens and things like that. So we want to get those muscles working of our eyes and then coming back in again. So repositioning your body shape here, placing a hand on the floor, hovering this leg up, and we're going to make our leg circle. So 3 times as we just make that movement as sort of circular as possible. Really feeling like you're sort of scooping the last bit of something delicious out of a jar or a bowl. And then changing the direction to the opposite way. And breathing through your movement, enjoying what you're doing, and then coming back to find your knee in a bent position. Push that leg all the way out, flex your toes back to you, really feel like you're pressing onto the wall and then bending your knee, coming back. And again, push it all the way out. Have that brief pause and then pull it back. And then last one, just like that, as we press it out and then we pull back in again and then returning. So we're going to flip over onto your tummy. So as you do, just making sure that you feel comfortable here. And we're going to send our toes to face in and our heels to face out. You'll just rest your head down towards your hands. I'm going to prop my head up so that I don't muffle the microphone too much. And from this position, you're just going to swivel your heels all the way until they're looking in at each other, and then turn them so that they're looking away from each other. And again, feeling those heels coming closer to the center and then rotating them outward. One more time, just perfectly in, and they may or they may not touch, it doesn't matter, and then rolling them back out again. And then from there, we're going to roll them back into a more neutral position. See if you can get your feet to come closer, your entire leg to come closer, and then just rest the legs down, but keeping those heels balanced in parallel. We're going to send one leg up and away, so just lifting off of the mat and then bringing it back down. And then the other side is going to lift and lower
and switching over. So your aim on this one is just to feel the pelvis very settled on the floor underneath you, a long position through your leg as you kick it back or lift it up. One more time to each side, just making sure you're not over recruiting muscles at the top of your neck and shoulder position. And then from there, we're going to just rest your hands in front of your shoulder line. We're going to go into a little lift of your chest bone away from the floor. So I want you to feel that place where you're rested on your lower ribs and you're very easy. You could take your hands away, do anything with them, but you would stay in that same position of your upper back. And then lower yourself down. And then repeat, up we come with the spine just into this upper space. Now, if you notice you're shortening your back, your pubic bone is lifting, you've got to feel more length in that area. And then return. We don't want to create this sense of bracing around our body because bracing is going to make you not able to move very far. So you want to have support, but you don't want to feel like you are, too contained where you can't find support. Hold your position up here, and then we're going to go for a stretch of our arms out, circle them around, and bring them back in. And again, reach them forward, circle around, and return. One more time, reach them out, circle them around, and back in, and then lower yourself towards the floor. We're just going to press you all the way up onto an all fours position so that we can get sort of back to where we began our class today. And we're just going to go into one more movement for our shoulders, and that's just to sink the shoulders or the chest between the arms. You'll feel the shoulder blades coming closer behind you, and then push those shoulder blades apart from one another. And again, sink in and push out. One last time as we sink to the floor and then raise yourself all the way up. Feel like we have to keep going just for one more movement as we fold our elbows down to find the ground, keeping the bottom up in the air, and then straightening the arms again. So as your elbows come towards the floor, there will be a slightly sort of backward movement of your body towards your pelvis and then coming forward. And it's just like a trestle table, sort of those legs folding in, the table starts to get lower, and then the table gets higher again. All right, we're going to find our seat just to finish off, and that is with our ankle mobility. So you can always do this lying on your back if you prefer, but we're going to have hands back behind just to help give a nice lift into your chest. And we're going to start by pulling your toes towards you and then pushing your toes away from you. So movement at your ankle joint. So we call these movements dorsiflexion and plantarflexion, or flex and point. Doesn't matter how you say it, it's just the action we're after. And then Bear says it's time to end our video. Not yet, Bear. And then from here, we're going to wag our feet out to the side and in. So we did this lying on our back a moment ago. So toes are facing into each other, toes are facing away from each other. Do your best to not bend your knee in this variation. And then we're going to make it into a full circle. So we'll go out and around, in and up. And again, out, around, in, and up. We've got one more time in that direction. And then we're going to go in the opposite way. So make your circle as smooth as possible. Not all ankles go smoothly, and sometimes they crack and do all sorts of delightful things. And then from there, we're going to finish our class because somebody is getting agitated and wants to go and do other things besides Pilates. Why? I don't know. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Nice, gentle movement. And if you do feel good in your body, remember to like and make a comment below so that I know that what you're getting is what you're wanting. Have a great day.